Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Så att kusten känner konstnärer kan så felina. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey. Happy 3 Lobster Monday. I'm Jason. That's Ben. This is Wanna Bet. We do this 7 days a week. We have some tough times. We're doing a lot of volume plus money plays here. We have some rough days. We have some rough weeks. We have some rough weekends. But we're also put our mind, body, soul into this. Our plays that we're making, the way we share them with you, the way we try to put you in positions to use some or all of that information to help yourself. And yesterday was a great day for the show. There's no two ways about it. I'm not going to say we do everything great, but Ben, when we've attacked single game NFL windows this year, we have had some monstrous success. Yesterday was another one. I'm not going to go through it all here. It's on Twitter at Jason Lockenfora. If there's somebody out there who gave out one pregame anytime bet on someone to score in that game where there were not many touchdowns, and they were on Des Walker, and they were on him for the reasons I was on him. No, they weren't. So, and again, it's what we do. We care about this deeply, and we love to share our successes with you, and we try to minimize our down spots. Look, I'm pissed off that Erling Haaland somehow yesterday, Ben, hit the upper 90 in a way that I've never seen a ball not score in my life, to the point where the announcer's like, I cannot believe it did not go in. It defies all the logic. It defies all reason and physics. I'm like, yeah, it did. Could have been an even better day. Look, I don't know what to tell you. We told you we weren't going to have much on Sunday's show. We were going to be very judicious, and the things we like, we were going to go big on. And Trey Lance delivered big for us. And it was sweaty till they started running him in the second half, and then it wasn't sweaty at all. He could have run for 100 yards in that game. That's why I'm watching preseason games and going back to preseason games and going back to stats on family trees versus family trees. We're not giving out plus 700s all over the place. When we do, I'd say they got a pretty effing good hit rate. So, yeah, it was. Let's suck some lobsters, Ben. I don't want to belabor the point too much. Eat some lobsters. How did your Sunday go, Ben? Apart from the fact that the Baltimore Ravens shot the bed again in the fourth quarter, which this defense has been built to do for 5 years.
Yeah, they hurt us again. Ultimately, you carried yesterday to get us north of 6 units. We finished in a good spot to wear the bibs, but I wasn't great. I finished down a little bit. If the Ravens win, we finish up in a strong way. If Mark Andrews catches a few more passes, I was completely off on that. I thought he'd be more involved.
He's a choker, bro. That's why they gave him $13 million for next year. He's their choker. He's in the old boys network.
It was unfortunate that we couldn't get 30 from him. He finished close to 20, but we couldn't get 10 more yards from him. Freiermuth, we needed one more catch. And with the way that the Ravens defense was imploding with how Kyle Hamilton off the field, still shocked we didn't get another catch from him to cash that one. Eagles need 10 rushing yards in the fourth quarter. They come away with 0. So we lose that one. Stephon Diggs, 1 reception, screwed us out of a plus 200. Jaden Higgins not having 2 more receiving yards screwed us out of a parlay as well. So it was unfortunate. Not a great day for us, but still up 45 units in just a little over 6 months.
Ben, show the people how I can't juggle lobsters if you don't mind. There we go. That's me trying to juggle lobsters and making the screen all screwy. We had a conversation about what we were going to do the next time this happened. Have you had a lobster roll? Do you like lobster rolls?
I have had a lobster roll. Yeah, they're fine.
Then you're okay with it, or you don't really like it? Tell me the truth.
No, it's fine. It's like I'm not.
Because I might run over to. There's a lobster roll place right on York Road, right at Belvedere Square. Maybe I'll bring it. So we don't have time to do a steamed lobster, but if I bring in a lobster roll, maybe we could do a video of us sharing the lobsters or something like that. Even if we don't put it up live, and then we could put that with, you know what I mean, one of those promo things that we did last time about single game windows. since the NFL is all single game windows now and we specialize in single game windows? Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
You don't seem very enthusiastic about it, though. I don't want to browbeat you into this lobster roll.
What do you? Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good with it.
And I mean, we got to bring the bibs in, and we eat the lobster roll sandwiches with the bibs on.
Right.
And we'll have like Barbalays film us or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. We're done with yesterday, right? Because it don't mean anything today. So let's get into these plays. It does feel weird, though, not to have all these NFL games to start trying to pick apart early. But we will have NFL plays in this show. And I'm going to have NFL plays every day this week. We're not waiting till the weekend. We'll lose a lot of value that way. All right, Beltway Ben. First down. Is this Knicks? This is Knicks Pistons?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the over on the Knicks Pistons tonight. The Knicks are catching a lot of flack for their defensive flaws. This ain't Thibodeau's team, is it, Beltway Ben? Their superpower in a watered-down Eastern Conference wasn't Jalen Brunson shooting. Everybody's got sharpshooters. I mean, he's special. But it was their defense. And it was especially their defense at home and their ability to win low-scoring games there. And then to carry that on the road and force you into their rock fights on the road. And their sharpshooter at the end is better than yours. Their defense sucks right now. Their rotations suck right now. And they're a dead-over team. They're over in 5 of their last 6. They're over in 9 of their last 12. They're over in 4 of their last 5 on the road. They're a dead-over team on the road this season. Beltway Ben, they also, over their last 10 games, home or road, are 26th in the NBA in defensive rating. 26th. The Pistons average 119 a game at home. The Pistons have had some defensive issues lately slipping up, including against the lowly Heat the other night where they lost at home. I don't think they're going to want to lose at home again tonight. I think Cunningham and others are going to be able to get up a lot of shots. We're looking at a Detroit team that this season is 5-1 to the over with no rest. They played yesterday, bit of an ugly game. I think this game, frankly, could be played well north of 235, let alone 232.5. I could see it getting a little loose. We like this over in the NBA.
We'll go to the NBA as well. We're going to play Asar Thompson over 11.5 points at -138. Now, don't get him mixed up with his brother, Amen, who plays for the Houston Rockets. Asar plays for the Pistons. And as Jason just touched on, what he thinks the over is going to cash in that game. He talks about a Knicks team who's allowing more points than almost anybody else in the NBA over their last 5 games, north of 120. He's cleared this number in 15 of 31 games. The difference is, for the majority of those, we saw Tobias Harris on the court, and we also saw Jalen Duran on the court. Now, he's not a big, but he plays 1 through 5 just like his brother and can do a lot of different things well. Those two have not been off the court with him much. Last game they were, and he finished with 8 and 8, but 8 points when he had 5 fouls and was in big foul trouble throughout the majority of the game, played way less minutes than expected. Dennis Jenkins gave them 25 points off the bench last game. I don't expect that to happen again here. I just don't realistically see that. He's going to come off the bench and give them 15 to 20 minutes. He isn't going to score 25 again. Jaden Ivey has not played well since returning from the injury. We know that the Knicks are going to do whatever they can to stop Cade. They're going to storm him off the screens and all those things. I would expect Thompson to finish a bunch of buckets here. We just need 6. And the number is 12.5 at plus money right now, but I played at 11.5 because there's been multiple games this year, including 2 games ago, where he finishes at 12. So give me Asar Thompson over 11.5 points at -138.
Love it. Points. Nick, 7-4 to the over on the road this season, Beltway Ben, when the total is set at 230 or higher. Second down, my Toronto Raptors. Why are they my Toronto Raptors? Because I'm holding a ticket for the Knicks to win the division and Toronto to finish second, which we gave out on the show. I had some horrible luck with my NFL futures, including a one that would have played plus 2,800 on Jacksonville to win the division, which I gave out right before they played Kansas City and said, get it now, because they're going to beat Kansas City and they're going to win the division. Pittsburgh to win the division at a time when Baltimore was still favored. Philadelphia to win the division, Beltway Ben, and the Rams to win the division. And they finished with the same record as Seattle and lose on a tiebreaker because of a bullshit 2-point conversion. That would have been a couple $1,000 in my pocket. Let's have better luck with our Raptors, by the way, Ben. And we like them tonight against Atlanta because we always like them against Atlanta. We're going to lay 2.5 minus 118. Toronto's covered 5 straight against Atlanta going back a couple years now. Toronto's 8-3 against the spread. Their last 11 meetings with the Hawks. Those last 5 meetings have all been Toronto wins, including the other night. They've won by 7, 17, 12, 20, 23, and 23. Trae Young came back for Atlanta. Is that really a great thing? It seems that their defense and their rotations get a little screwy. He comes back and tries to justify his existence. Maybe a little too much chucking of shots, little too many cute passes. This Atlanta team, 4-8 against the spread, their last 12 games. This has been repeatedly a bad matchup for Atlanta. And Toronto's been on the road quite a bit. Now they're getting some home cooking, and they've been taking advantage of it.
Yes, I promise you I did not plan this. I seriously did not. And after the first one, I realized it was the next two.
Yeah, Ben was working till like 3 o'clock in the morning last night, and then slept a little bit this morning, and then I waited to give him my picks because I didn't want my phone, like I didn't want the text to like wake him up. Because when he did finally text me, I'm like, bro, I hope you can go back to sleep. Like, you don't need to be up this early.
Yeah, no, I was up pretty early trying to go back to sleep, but it was tough. And then my team losing, like it was a rough night. But here we are. We don't take nights or take days off. We're back and we're giving out winning plays. But as I was saying, I didn't plan to do this, but both of the first 2 plays that I'm giving out are involved in your game. They're both involved in your game, which is funny. Sandro Mamukelashvili, I think it's as close as I can get.
I don't know how. That's pretty good. I can't do that one.
Over 5.5 rebounds and minus 110. Mamu is what they call him. He played at Seton Hall under Kevin Willard, actually, which is why I'm quite familiar with him. In the NBA, he's kind of banged around as a journeyman. He's been in San Antonio. He's been in some spots where he hasn't been given much opportunity. All of a sudden this year, Toronto was letting him play. And a big reason for that is Podol's injury. But even when Podol wasn't out.
Yertle the Pirtle Turtle.
Yeah. Even when he wasn't out, Mamu was playing a few minutes here and there. All of a sudden, he's been playing a bunch for them. He's over this in 7 of his last 12 games. When you have no Podol, his role grows. They need him to be aggressive on the glass. Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Murray Boyles when he's on the court. Like, those guys will take some boards. RJ Barrett, they'll take some boards from him. But Mamu was the biggest dude on the court for them. Last game, 13, 12, and 8 coming off of the bench against the same team, against the Hawks. Now he's finally getting some opportunities, taking advantage. You have to imagine him to be on the court a lot again tonight against the Hawks team that really struggles in all facets. I considered giving out his rebounds and points because he's had success scoring the basketball, but I just decided to go with rebounds because I think that is the strongest area that we see from him tonight. The Hawks are giving up 50 rebounds per game. Over their last 5, it's the most in the NBA. So give me Mamu over 5.5 rebounds and minus 110. Again, anybody who's not quite familiar with the NBA, he plays for the Toronto Raptors. Sandro Mamukelashvili.
Excellent. Halftime. Lobster roll. Tin roof. Rusted. Let's go to the Big Ten, Beltway Ben. And we haven't been on Sparty in a minute. And we do usually like Sparty unders at home, although they're running a little more at home this year. And let's just lay the points here. Sparty hosting the beat-up USC Trojans tonight. Full disclosure, I jumped this one and opened yesterday at minus 9.5. I paid a little more juice, minus 20. It's now soaring. I think by tip-off, this will be north of 12.5. It's already over 11.5 in a lot of spots. You could still find it at FanDuel within the hour. Minus 10.5 juice to minus 115. I think there's a smash spot for Izzo. His team went to Nebraska on the road, held the Cornhuskers under 60 points and lost, Beltway Ben. How does Izzo do since the start of the 2022 season off a loss? He's 22-9-2 against the spread since the start of the 22 season after a loss. Now he gets a beat-up USC team that gave millions of dollars to Rodney Rice to be the focal point of their backcourt scoring, who's out for the year, who just went to Michigan and got the shit kicked out of him, and then they got to stay in Michigan in the snow and practice for a couple days, knowing that Izzo off a road loss is waiting for him. No bueno. I think they're going to struggle to score. I think Izzo will let his boys run it up a little bit here. You've got a USC team that's covered just once in their last 6 games. A USC team that's covered just thrice in their last 11 games. Do you like that, Ben? Thrice. And
That was impressive.
this is a USC team that I watched struggle to beat Washington State. And I was watching it because I thought Washington State LMU would be a good spot maybe for LMU to win on plus money. Lost that one. It's close. I just think Michigan State is 14 to, I don't know, maybe even 18 points better than the Trojans. So we still like it at minus 10.5.
Yeah, I'll get to that game in a little bit during overtime. I have a parlay.
Really?
Some college basketball.
Great minds think alike, Beltway.
Great minds do think alike. But here I'm going to play a simple same game parlay in this Suns Rockets game. If you can find on any of your books same game parlay profit boost, I would recommend using it here because you can get plus money if you have a book that is offering those. Sometimes random Monday nights they'll give you random stuff, NBA profit boost, whatever. So if you could try to get this to plus money, that'd be good. But I'm playing it here at minus 110. Kevin Durant 25 plus points, Devin Booker 20 plus points. KD 25 plus in 4 of his last 5, and he's gotten there every single game Şengün has been out. Şengün's out again tonight. He re-injured himself just the other day. Devin Booker has 20 plus points in 10 straight games. The last time he went under this, he got hurt, didn't play the majority of the second half, and wasn't able to go over. This is a revenge spot for KD. Spent time in Phoenix. We all know how that went. Now he's going back there with Houston. Had success the last time they faced him. Had success the game before that. He's cleared this in both matchups with them. And then, Devin Booker is facing his old teammate, who he spent time with in the Olympics, who he spent time with multiple years in Phoenix. There's something about that in the NBA. We talk about stars facing stars all the time and what it kind of brings out of some of these players. I think it'll bring out the best in both of them. They're both consistent, great scorers, and have been the leading scorers on their team this year to no surprise. We're going to get a little bit more to this game in fourth and weird with a different guy. But for here, we're going to play KD 25 plus points and Devin Booker 20 plus points, minus 110.
Speaking of fourth and weird, you have lit a fire under me to hit a fourth and weird bet, Beltway Ben. And I'm going to cut back on the Premiership a little bit because, look, I don't really regret a lot of the plays I made. I think it's solid while I made them. It's humans doing human stuff. Arsenal basically putting one in their own net. The way Man City conceded to Chelsea under a new manager in the 96th minute. Haaland, again, somehow that not being the first goal in the match. If you saw him pivot and bang that with his left foot, and you saw where that ball was going, and you follow soccer. Okay. But so I'm not going to get on this match. It's tomorrow. I'm not going to get on a bunch of different ways. But I did jump second half to be the higher scoring half in the Forest West Ham match tomorrow in the Premiership. And most places this is like minus 110, minus 105. Because if these are two shite teams, and when shite teams get together in a relegation battle, like they usually want to keep it close as long as they can. And then it's like, those guys suck as much as us. Let's try to score in the second half. One goal might do it. And then we get the 3 points and they get none. So it's already sort of inherently baked in that the second half might be where it opens up. But at FanDuel, you could get this at plus 118. So I had to jump it. I would have played it, at plus 105. But you can get it at plus 118. I don't think that's going to be there tomorrow. This is a relegation battle. These are both teams that start matches slowly for the most part. West Ham never really score early. They used to concede early a lot. Remember, we were playing them, other teams to score on them in the first 30 minutes a lot. But now there's just no goals at all. And Forest or shite. Neither of these teams can develop scoring from the run of play. And the second half has been the higher scoring half with both of them, like to a large degree. You're looking at basically, I'm not even going to go through all the numbers. Like it doesn't, I'm going to try to make these shows go a little faster. They're not keeping clean sheets in the second half, either team, when you do the home road splits. And they're both averaging considerably more total goals in the second half than the first half. And it is the proverbial relegation battle where if it's close, you go for 3 late. So I like there to be, I'm not sure there's going to be any goals in the first half. I like there to be some in the second half.
Yeah, I mentioned I would go back to that Suns game. And again, you don't love going with multiple different guys when you're taking points and shot attempts and field goal attempts and all of that. But here, I will be doing it. We're going Dylan Brooks over 16 and a half field goals attempted at minus 125. You got to pay some juice because he's been going over this regularly this season. He's over this in more than half of the games that he's played. Both times they matched up with the Rockets, Dylan Brooks got his shots up. Now, one of those was with Devin Booker. The other was without him. They held Devin Booker to just 14 shot attempts the first matchup. I think they're going to go out of their way to stop him. Devin Booker will still get his, but he might be a little bit more tentative chucking shots. He's not the Dylan Brooks of the world where Dylan Brooks will shoot the ball every time he touches it. And I talked about the revenge game factor with KD. It's the same damn thing for Dylan Brooks, who they actually moved to improve, right? It wasn't KD wanting to go to Houston and getting brought there and traded there without, his hope. No, KD wanted to go to Houston. Dylan Brooks did not want to go to Phoenix. He didn't want to be thrown away. He was a piece where they just gave it away, and he feels that. We know he's a very prideful guy. He likes to get under people's skin. He's a different type of player, but he's been aggressive shooting the basketball this year. And the Suns, I don't know if many people did expected them to play as good of basketball as they're playing this year. And I got to give the guy credit. What he's doing on the defensive end, the way he gets under people's, skin, the way he's scoring the basketball.
Yeah.
He's taking on a leadership role for the Suns that they really didn't have once you move on from KD and you didn't know where it was going to come from. Dylan Brooks has been very good for Phoenix. I do expect tonight, though, he'll be prideful. He's going to take a lot of shots and try to get his old team back. 17 shot attempts should not be too much for a guy that's done it for the majority of the games this year.
I wish I had jumped on the Phoenix Suns over their team total. Suns impressive. I texted you midway through that game. I'm like, dude, they're going to beat the Thunder straight up at home. They're not only going to cover, they're going to beat them straight up at home. Suns at home, covering machine. If you're interested in more on that West Ham match, this will be an interesting little thing here. Email me at wannabetwithus@gmail.com, and I will give you the numerical breakdown. Overtime. Let's jump some NFL single game windows, Beltway Ben. We want plus money on the Jacksonville Jags while it's still there. Plus 102 at Bet Rivers is where I played it this morning. They're better than Buffalo. They're better covering than Buffalo. Ben, dirty little secret. Their quarterback's playing better than the guy in Buffalo right now. They got a better defense than Buffalo. And Ben, they might have a better coach. They might have a better playoff coach than the guy in Buffalo. Don't tell anybody. Buffalo's 6-6 straight up their last 12 games on the road. So like we all know, their offense skews heavily towards, they're averaging 6.5 points a game more at home than on the road over the last 2 years. How's Josh Allen done covering in the playoffs? 5-8 against the spread. We sure the right team's favored here? How's Josh Allen done in his playoff career on the road? Has he ever covered? No. 0-4. Lawrence is on fire. All the pressure's on Buffalo. Liam Cohen's playing with house money. Jacksonville has a superpower. It's stopping the run. What happens to the Buffalo Bills when they can't get into third and short from running the ball? The quarterback tries to do too much. The quarterback feels the pressure. The quarterback throws jump balls. Jacksonville will turn you over. Jacksonville specializes in turning you over. Jacksonville's also covered 8 straight games, Beltway Ben, and they're 12-5 against the spread this year. Best in football. We're on the Jags. We also think the wrong team's favored in this Chargers patch game. We're on Chargers money line at plus 180. New England can't rush the passer. I don't think they can exploit the tackle issues with the Chargers. Justin Herbert is going to be able to run all over this defense if he has to. They can avoid Gonzalez and find plenty of other matchups that they like. This New England team has not had to have this sort of step up in weight class. Jesse Minter's defense is legit. Jesse Minter can't interview for any jobs before this game. I'll be worried about the Chargers, like when the windows start to interview Minter and then things get sideways. But in this game, going on the road, Harbaugh, who's been a covering machine on the road his whole career, regular season and playoffs, he excels at winning these types of rock fights. I think they can turn it into a rock fight. You've got a Chargers defense with 19 interceptions, a Chargers defense that knows how to play these zone principles. Drake May's been great. Drake May's played a ridiculously easy schedule. Always been a difference maker for the Chargers pass rush. It's a rookie. I mean, a playoff rookie. Drake May's second season. A playoff rookie in his first game at home. I like the Chargers here. I think they will manage the game better. I think they have the better defense. I don't think the home field is going to be intimidating. And I think Justin Herbert getting that bye last week is absolutely huge for his hand healing up. And I know Herbert hasn't been great in the playoffs, but this was the matchup that I think was the best one possible for the Chargers in the first round, and they got it. And I'm not sure how long almost 2-1 is going to be available. So we also played Chargers, give us the 3.5. And let's take Jacksonville from 1.5 up to 3.5. And if you parlay Jacksonville plus 3.5 and the Chargers plus 3.5 at Bet365, you can get almost 2-1 plus 195. We also jumped the under in the Giants-Eagles game. The Eagles have played, they're a dead under team right now. The defense is fully healthy. Brock Purdy will be seeing ghosts. Brock Purdy, maybe with no Trent Williams, or with a beat-up Trent Williams, forget about it. Shanahan without a run game, you ain't going to have a run game here. And Purdy having to throw the ball too much against Vic Fangio, who knows that family tree inside out. Bad matchup. How have the game totals been going for Eagles games lately? 20. I'm not including yesterday where nobody played. When the Eagles play their starters, game totals over the last 8 games. These are for both teams. 25, 47, 31, 41, 39, 45, 25, 17. I know San Francisco's defense can't stop anybody, but I don't think Sirianni is out to go crazy here. He saw what Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker just did. He's going to do that on the ground. He's going to suck the life out of a San Francisco team that has even a worse pass rush than Baltimore somehow. Bad matchup for San Francisco. Kittle is still a little beat up. I think the Eagles win this game, but more than anything else, I think they make it their kind of rock fight at home. Grab that under 46.5 while you can.
Just for the listeners, the 49ers Eagles under 46.5. You said the Giants. We will get to the San Francisco Giants.
Because I guess I was thinking San Francisco Giants. I don't know. Yeah. I apologize. Thank you, Beltway Ben.
We will get to them soon.
Beltway Ben. My better betting half. Beltway Ben.
Soon we'll have baseball.
I can almost taste the lobster roll, Ben.
I'm right there with you. For overtime, we're going to play multiple NFL parlays, and we'll also play a college basketball parlay like I mentioned earlier. We'll start here. Jordan Love over 220.5 passing yards, and the Los Angeles Rams on the money line at plus 118. I'm throwing the Rams in to get us the plus money because I don't see them losing this game. I think they are the best team in the NFC, even when they do get in their own way with play calling, even when they do make the mental mistakes that they have. I still expect them to go on a little bit of a run here. They usually right their wrongs in the big spot. They've had success in the playoffs. They're also, I mean, it's years removed, and it's a completely different wide receiver core, but they did win a Super Bowl when not many teams have been able to just years ago with Matthew Stafford. He's playing great football. A lot of people thought he was going to retire at the beginning of the year, and all of a sudden he's probably should have won MVP, but he will not win it.
Should have won one more game, Ben. Should have won one more game. That would have been the plus 375 on, I think, the Rams to win the division. And the 28-1.
No, yeah. That, again, in that game was just so weird and head-scratching a lot of different ways. But we're going to take them to beat the Panthers. Last time they played, they lost to the Panthers. I mean, it was a weird game. It was raining. I don't see that happening again. I'll just be completely honest with you.
Pick six, Bryce Young, 2 50-yard touchdown bombs on fourth down.
I cannot buy that running it back. But here we're going to take Jordan Love over 220.5 passing yards. This is the number to get us where we want to be. The last time these two teams faced off, it was an ugly defensive game. Jordan Love was struggling, but he did go down with an injury. He was 8 for 13 for 77 yards and goes down with the injury early in that game. Who knows how he could have finished it. He was efficient with his throws. The game before that, when they played the Bears, he threw for 234 yards and had a lot of success. This is going to be on the road. I would expect them to kind of put an emphasis on trying to take Josh Jacobs away. And we just saw Jared Goff go to Soldier Field and do everything he wanted and beat the Bears in a game that meant something to them. This secondary is not very good. Their passing defense isn't very good, and it's shown in a lot of big spots. We just saw Brock Purdy destroy them, completely destroy them.
Yes.
And then just weeks later gets embarrassed by Mike McDonald's defense. So I don't buy anything this Bears defense has. I think we're going to attack them as many ways as we can. And with Jordan Love healthy, He's had some time off. He should be fine in this one. I would expect LaFleur to get that offensive right and him to throw for over 220.5. So again, Jordan Love 220.5 passing yards over, and the Rams on the money line, which we can get at plus 118. We'll stick to football here. Just a simple touchdowns parlay. And I don't play a lot of these, and I was kind of frustrated I didn't give out more of these for you guys because it's something that I wanted to get into more this year, and I just never did. So we'll start here. Devontae Adams, anytime touchdown. Josh Jacobs, anytime touchdown. George Kittle, anytime touchdown, plus 849. Now, you can tell me a lot of these guys are going to be heavily bet, and I get all that. I mean, these are the leading scorers in the playoffs right now. You have Devontae Adams, who scored more touchdowns than anybody else in the NFL. 14 touchdowns at the wide receiver position. We had George Kittle have 7 in just 11 games. We saw Josh Jacobs have 13, and he missed a few games. Like, these guys are the ones scoring for their teams. Carolina is not keeping the Rams out of the end zone. I don't think the Bears are with the Packers. I just talked about thinking Jordan Love's going to stretch the ball down the field. They're going to get inside the 10 at some point, and they're going to let Josh Jacobs punch one of them in. And then George Kittle, like any game that he doesn't score a touchdown, take him for a touchdown the next, because that's how it's been mostly through his career. But in a must-win spot against an Eagles defense, they've been good against tight ends. I fully get that. But Brock Purdy likes going George Kittle's way in the red zone. He likes going his way around the goal line. And I'm not ruling out George Kittle catching a 25 or 30-yard touchdown pass because he beat somebody. He's a different type of tight end. So again, this is probably a bunch of public guys, but I don't care about that in the playoffs. I'm not worried about what other people are betting in the playoffs. I'm just going to bet off of what I've seen and what I expect to happen. Devontae Adams has that Mike Evans type of, target share in the red zone. They'll get down to the 1-yard line and force him the ball, and he usually comes down with it. So here, give me Devontae Adams, anytime touchdown, Josh Jacobs, anytime touchdown, and George Kittle, anytime touchdown, plus 849. Real quick, I spelled Adams wrong, Adamas. I messed up with the San Francisco Giants as well. Willie Adamas, Devontae Adams. I mean, you probably can't see it as well.
I was thinking, I was going to say that. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, I think
I was going to say so. But then I'm like, Ben was up till 3 a.m. I'm like, I'm not even going to do the Adamas thing. But I thought about it.
That is perfect.
I saw it.
Yeah,
you could probably see the twinkle in my eye. But I was like, I'm going to let it pass because my man's going on fumes.
No, I just realized.
And we got lobster roll to get to.
Absolutely, but it does fit the show perfect, right? We talked about the San Francisco Giants, and we get right back to them. Willie Adamas.
I thought about it. One other thing on Devontae, don't call me Willie Adamas. If you are going to get on that, I would just say I would maybe sprinkle on first half. It's the goal to go. I think he had 11 or 12 goal to go touchdowns, and I got to look back at my notes. I think 9 were in the first half. Like, he's the guy, like, it's our sure thing. Let's get the lead. And even the games where he didn't get the first one, like that Carolina game, he was targeted. He dropped it.
Right. Yeah.
And to the Kittle, when Kittle didn't play, what happened? Because we were on Tanja's first touchdown. Tanja's had the first offensive touchdown in the game. Mr. Irrelevant threw a pick 6. So the first touchdown was the pick 6, but the first offensive touchdown was Tanja's when Kittle wasn't available.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. And then finally, we'll wrap it up in college basketball tonight. I didn't want to be off of everything tonight, and there's just 3 Big Ten games, a few mid-majors, but we stayed away from those because I didn't get enough research in. I'm not going to force something to you guys without doing enough research. So here, Ohio State on the money line and Michigan State on the money line, minus 106. 2 favorites tonight. Jason broke down Michigan State. USC is without their best player. They're in a bad spot. They're coming off of a 30-plus point loss to Michigan, which it seems like everybody is losing by 30-plus to Michigan. But USC is not in a good spot. You lose your best player who you paid $3+ million. You're never going to be in a fine spot. I think they're going to struggle down the stretch. And they were ranked. I mean, it was the biggest loss for a ranked opponent in a long time. I would expect Michigan State to handle business at home coming off of a loss where they took Nebraska to the buzzer. And Nebraska is legit this year, but we're playing Ohio State tonight. I've faded Nebraska off of this show. I have not faded them yet on the show that I can remember just because I haven't bought into them as much as I should, and Hoiberg continues to win, and they continue to take that program in the right direction. We know that fan base is locked in. We know that they're a legitimate team. They've yet to lose, and it's not like some of these wins, it's like, they got lucky. No, they are beating up on teams. They're playing great basketball, and it's impressive.
The more work I did on them in Iowa, the more I'm like, the Big Ten's even better than I thought it was.
Yeah. No, Nebraska.
I think both
legit.
those teams could do damage in the tournament.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And they both are pretty well coached. Iowa, they are in a really good spot for a long time to come. That guy's a winner. It's kind of like the Signetti situation. But Here, we're going to play Ohio State. I think Nebraska's finally due for a loss. As good as they've been, they're going on the road here to Ohio State, who's an underrated team in the Big Ten. Not enough people are talking about them either, I don't think. And they're going to be home. I think Thornton carries his team in this matchup. I said it. Nebraska's due for a loss. Nebraska's not going to be undefeated all along. They're going to have some tough matchups in Big Ten play. It's not a knock to them in any way. But when you see an undefeated ranked team as an underdog on the road in college basketball, I'm telling you, do not blindly bet the favorite or the underdog, the ranked underdog. Never do it. It's how FanDuel and these books steal so much money from people that don't watch enough college basketball. I attack these spots as much as I can, and there was too much juice, so we threw Michigan State in to get us a fair number. So Ohio State on the money line, Michigan State on the money line at -106.
There you have it. Hopefully we're juggling lobsters again tomorrow. But wait, Ben, if you don't mind showing the people our work. So there you go. That's everything we've given out on this show to this point at the bottom there since May 21st, our first show. Not all NFL futures are in. We will let you know when they are. We gave those out over a period of time. We kept them in a spreadsheet. But wait, Ben, maybe at some point you could put that spreadsheet up on the Wanna Bet thing. No? Is it like is that something you can take a picture of and put on Twitter for the?
I delete out the legs though when I put them to the record. That's the issue.
What's that?
I delete out the legs when I put them to the record, so I remember what I've accounted for.
So anyway, we've got NFL futures coming in. I know a couple of mine just missed that are going to make me sick for a long time. Again, you want more info on why I like second half is the most liveliest goal-scoring half in the Prem game tomorrow. Email us about that or anything else. wannabetwithus@gmail.com. Tomorrow, again, college basketball, we're into conference schedules now. Leagues play on certain days. This is more and more, we're going to see us doing more and more college. Obviously, the NBA, we're about a third of the way in. You can kind of start making some real determinations there. We're going to have plays for these NFL games through the week, player prop markets by tomorrow's show. At least for the Saturday games, we'll be fully up. I know I'm going to be on some of those. I'm looking at some NHL Beltway Ben, but nothing I'm willing to give out on air yet. But fired up about this week. A lot going on, and can't wait for these NFL games to get here. We appreciate you guys tuning in as always. You want to bet? We want to bet. You love lobster rolls? Maybe. I love lobster rolls. I think Ben's lukewarm about lobster rolls, but I think he's going to eat a lobster roll. We will see you tomorrow. Oh, yeah, and 11 o'clock. We're going to try to stick to 11 o'clock most of the time from now on. We'll see. Life intervenes sometimes. Anyway, good luck, everybody, tonight. Thank you for tuning in. See you mañana.